The following podcast has been brought to you by Audible.com. Sign up now using the URL audibletrial.com/TTV to get a free audiobook of your choosing. We recommend Brick by Brick, How LEGO Rewrote the Rules of Innovation and Conquered the Global Toy Industry. You may recognize this as one of the sources we use in our show, Bionicle Autopsy. Remember, that's audibletrial.com/TTV. Enjoy the show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync! Hey everybody, and welcome to TTV Talks. I'm Kahi.
I'm Takuma.
And I'm EXX Trooper. This is so weird without Meso. I have never.
It is, isn't it?
I have never done this. Like, you guys have had, like, some episodes, but sort of, like, Meso has been, like, the foundation of everything that I've done, and just not even VAR here. I feel like I'm in an empty void of, like, opportunities or escape routes or something. I don't know, it's weird. Star Wars.
Wars in the Stars.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Wars between stars. Or is it the War of the Stars? War of the Stars. Is one of them Brad Pitt?
No.
I hope not. It's not like Dancing with the Stars to come out. It's just War of the Stars.
I would rather watch War of the Stars than Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, definitely. Can you imagine if, like...
Have you seen all the Star Wars movies at all, or are you like Meso?
I've seen them all, yes.
Alright.
Meso's only seen like 2 or 3 of them, right? Like he's...
Did he?
I don't know. I think so. I think he saw like some parts of the original trilogy and like maybe... I don't think he's seen any of the prequels. Or maybe he saw like one of the prequels.
Did he see one prequel and one of like the oldest ones? What did they even call the ones?
They call them the original trilogy. It's like episode 4, 5, and 6. And then okay, you guys, we've all seen all 6 of them, right?
I have seen all 6 of them.
We're normal, well-adjusted people that have watched all these cultural...
Like, not even just... There's not, like, in some sort of nerd
movies.
Stigma connected to it. Like, there's nothing like
no.
Hobbit or Lord of the Rings. Like, everyone's, like, seen some sort of Star Wars. That's
you have to. It's not like... Star Wars isn't like Star Trek, you know? Star Trek is kind of nerdy, and Star Wars, everybody...
But Star Wars became, like, a phenomenon.
Right.
I can't pronounce that word. I can't pronounce that word.
You almost had it. You just said nom instead of non.
Yeah, but, like, there's been, like, a thing for that for years, because I just cannot pronounce that word whatsoever. But, like, let's just cover all the things that has been watched. Like, I've watched all the movies, of course. I watched the Clone Wars movies. I have not watched Clone Wars, except for, like, the last season that I did. It's on Netflix. But I've seen all of the original Clone Wars. The original comic-y.
Right, the one that was kind of animated, cartoony in a way.
Which
I know
actually
what you're
worked for the story, because it was actually connected, because that explained to you how the Chancellor was captured, spoiler alert, by General Grievous. I mean, the movies are really old right now. I mean, how old is the... I think the...
It's 10 years old. The last Star Wars film was released in 2005. I believe is like May, somewhere in May.
Oh, it's just 10 years old today,
It's been 10 years.
I mean, not today.
It's 10 years this year. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I remember when episode
old.
3 came out, where it was like, you know, I wanted to go see it and everything, and my parents wouldn't let me because I want to pay for a ticket to go to the theater. But
really?
Star Wars, yeah.
You were not allowed any fun?
Oh, dude, I wasn't allowed to see Star Wars until around the time episode 3 came out.
But were you allowed to see other movies, though, in the movies?
Yeah, I was allowed to see other movies, just not Star Wars.
Star Wars too violent?
You know, I really don't know. The reasoning behind it was almost kind of shaky. They're just really like protective of what kind of media I had as a kid, and then like when I was able to start having that media, you know, I pushed really hard to, you know, see. All my friends were into Star Wars at the time because, you know, we're 10 years old and like all the movies are coming out and stuff. So all my friends are really into Star Wars. I've been begging my parents to see Star Wars for years, and they finally let me do it around 2005, I believe.
It's Hard Knock Life. Did you ever see them in the movies, Takuma? Did you ever get the opportunity to see any of them in the movies?
The only one I saw in theaters was episode 3. Not out of some sort of, you know, being disallowed to, but I just wasn't generally interested in Star Wars until the 3rd one was coming out.
Which one's your favorite movie? Like, both of you.
General Grievous is like my favorite character, and like I'm really weird about the Star Wars thing because like there's just some really strong sides. Like either you're 100% I love the trilogy, or 100% the Clone Wars and stuff like that. But like the biggest connection I have to Star Wars is the old Star Wars Battlefront game, and
1 or 2.
It was I played some of the first one, but like the second one I can remember that I just played that a lot on split screen.
I have Star Wars Battlefront 2
I know.
on my PlayStation 2.
Oh, no, but first we need to say the movie that is our favorite.
Okay, yeah. Sorry,
because we're just gonna go completely crazy.
We're gonna go once we start on Battlefront. It's gonna be way thin. All right,
that's sort of the way.
X. What is your favorite movie?
It's really hard because like you there's a lot to it. Like you can't just be like, oh, my favorite one is like Episode 1 or stuff like that, because then people would just tear you apart. Because
fun fact: Episode 1 was my favorite.
Really?
As a kid. All right, and here's why.
Okay.
It's because reason number 1 is Darth Maul, and I love Darth Maul. All right.
They threw him away too early.
They did. Reason number 2, though, is that I was 10 years old, and there was no romance in Star Wars Episode 1.
Really? Wait a minute.
Yeah, there's no romance. I mean, like there's like a really slight flirting, I guess, between like 9-year-old Anakin and like 18-year-old Padme. That's more like a
what
thing.
was with that thing really? Because
I don't know.
Age gap doesn't exist weird. There.
Are you an angel?
I know
was
so
cheesy. But like the thing about like the prequel movies is that like. I've watched them all, and I was just like, and it sort of didn't get anything to me. I was just like, they were right and stuff like that. And then just as it went on, just a lot of people always said that, I hate them. They're like so horrible.
Right.
But I really never found them to be like nerve-wrackingly horrible, and I like failed to see that a bit. But that might I really like Star Wars, right? But I don't think I'm as emotionally connected as some people. So.
Yeah, I agree with the same. I mean, like, with a lot of people point to the original trilogy as being, or not original trilogy, the prequel trilogy as being like horrible movies. And as I was a kid growing up, I didn't see them as horrible as all. I really loved them. I don't think like we might be in that generation that's just like we're just now becoming adults, and when we were kids, we were too young to appreciate like film, or we didn't have that nostalgia attached to the old Star Wars films. We just kind of grew up and we saw them and the prequels.
I think that's a lot of things because I'm way too young, but
saw it for what it was.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But Takuma, which one's your favorite? Takuma.
It's hard to say. There was a time when I would easily say Episode 5, though I'm really not sure
like
why
5
because the beginning was cool. Battle of Hoth I like. But when I think about all the rest of the movie with Dagobah and Cloud City, it actually kind of bores me.
Yeah, the climax is like kind of okay. Like it picks back up with Luke fighting Darth Vader for like the first time, but before that it was just kind of
So, there's more just things happening around those movies.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, Takuma.
I'm just gonna have to.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have to say it's either 3 or 4, and I'm not sure which one, nor that I have a good reason for it.
Okay.
Because I honestly,
3
as soon as I got
marginally
into
different.
Star Wars stuff outside of the movies, I was like, you know what? The movies are kind of rubbish, in my opinion. That may be a harsh thing to say, but compared to all the other Star Wars media, the movies as a whole just, for the most part, don't live up to other stuff for me, and I can explain why when we get into the
Send your hate mail to Takuma Nuva.
Yeah, I was about to say,
TTVpodcast.com.
like, this is a very touchy subject,
no,
the
JK,
Star Wars
it's not
thing.
Like, that's not an actual email address.
Yeah,
but the comments below are going to be calling for your head.
Yeah, my opinions are my own, and they can call their face. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people consider Episode 5 to be the best of the bunch. I don't necessarily agree with that. Although, I mean, it is notable, like, the middle movie in a trilogy is usually seen as the best. You know, a lot of people say, like, Spider-Man 2 is the best, and, what's it?
Spider-Man movies is like, the old Spider-Man movies is a really bad example, though, because not everyone was a fan of those.
I'm surprised how many... I didn't know how many fans of the original Spider-Man there were until the new Spider-Man came out, and everybody is like, "Oh, the old ones are so good."
TTV Talks Star Wars / Spider-Man.
Everyone. We're opening it back in.
Yeah.
It's the thing with the original trilogy, as opposed to like the prequel one, is have you guys heard this? I think I might have linked it before. There's like a Reddit article about I think her name's Maria, George Lucas's wife, Maria Lucas, I believe her name is. I'm gonna double check that just to be sure. But anyhow, there was a whole thing on Reddit. There's this article about the contributions she had to Star Wars, and it turns out that she was basically one of the biggest or the best editors in Hollywood, and she would be able to kind of like cut and paste, the different scenes and everything back together, because back then they didn't have computers, so you'd actually have to like cut the film out and like splice it together with other film. Right, the Old Trilogy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the stuff in the Old Trilogy is really contributed to her, like Ben Kenobi dying in episode 4. That was her suggestion. She did a whole bunch of stuff. She streamlined the end of episode 4, the trench run where Luke is flying the X-Wing and blowing up the Death Star. A lot of stuff that happened was her own. And this Reddit post basically went into like this kind of theory, I guess, that when she divorced George Lucas was, he kind of didn't really get over it for a long time. And he was waiting, and he didn't direct episode 5, he didn't direct episode 6. He basically took a break from directing. And he was wanting, hopefully for this prequel trilogy, to be like, the kind of showcase that, his ideas could stand on their own. And, it was his vision and his drive that led to the success of the first trilogy. And everybody hated him. And that's why he was so, like, if you can see after episode 3, like, he was like, he was really downcast about episode 7. He was like, he retired from directing, from filmmaking and stuff. He sold the rights off and everything. And I don't know, the post was interesting.
Very interesting backstory.
It is.
Wow.
It's an interesting, like, almost like a plot of like a movie, like The Social Network, where they have the thing and there's a relationship and it breaks up, and then like George tries to get it back with the prequels, and he's like, this is really was me. It wasn't just because of my, and everybody hates him, and he's like, I really was a better filmmaker when I had my wife around before she divorced me.
Oh man,
a lot of people probably agree.
I probably have to say my favorite one is episode 5, just because I know some of it was filmed in Norway, so I just
okay, some
snow,
bias.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
snow, Minnesota, maybe that's it.
But we really need to touch on that though, because I completely forgot that episode, like Star Wars episode 7, is coming out.
Oh, I forgot about this.
What are people
we have like we keep going all around. But real quick though, my favorite episode is probably episode 6. For a while, I would have said episode 3, but I like those two a lot. But I feel like 6 has a lot more, like emotional drive to it. Oh, hey, fun fact! Originally, episode 6 ended with Han Solo dying, and then Princess Leia was like she had to deal with her responsibilities of becoming a new queen of the Rebel Alliance after everything got defeated, and Luke was supposed to just kind of like walk off into like kind of to reside like a hermit, like Yoda, like walking off into sunset like a cowboy, and that was supposed to be the original ending of episode 6.
I'm glad they scrapped that.
George Lucas, it was his decision to scrap it and make everything a lot more happy and jovial. And
America, happy endings.
America.
But yeah, Takuma, what are your thoughts on episode 7?
Right.
Takuma.
Oh, we're jumping to me for episode 7 now. Okay.
Yeah, because you said, "Oh, how can you forget?" So you must have some strong opinions on that, then.
Actually,
presumably,
I specifically don't. My expectations for episode 7 are like rock bottom. I am not expecting. Yeah, I am not expecting anything. It'll either be a pleasant surprise, or I'll just be like, "Yeah, this is what I was expecting." Or not necessarily what I was expecting, but it's what I was prepared to see.
That's the best way to go into any movie.
Like you, Takuma.
No, that's the best way to go into any movie, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I went into Thor, and I really liked Thor. That's how I went into, I went to Guardians like that. And Guardians is, like, fantastic.
I was more hyped for Captain America, and I wasn't hyped for Captain America at all. This is like Star Wars. This new Star Wars is borderline negative hype from me right now. If it turns out good, then gung ho, full blast, full steam all the way forward. But until such a time, it's just a thing that I don't. Yeah.
By the way, clarification: George Lucas's wife is Marcia Lucas, not Maria. That's my bad.
Marcia. Is that an American name?
I mean,
anything that EXX doesn't recognize must be American.
But that's just like
be
the entire...
it names or breadsticks.
Breadsticks, that sounds like something Americans would make because it's like part of a pizza. But it's not there, so they sort of just like separated it to make it another product.
I don't get what you're saying. I have no idea.
Well, because the way I
now.
explained breadsticks to him is it's kind of like if you took the outer edge crust of a pizza and straightened it out.
I guess so. Or it's just bread that's in the form of a stick.
You see, that creates a different mental image in my mind.
Do you think like the really like long loaves of bread that you see like in every kitchen in France?
I don't know, but like the thing about the breadsticks though is like hamburgers is like an American thing, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Like that is just
hamburgers
like,
is a Paul Bunyan thing, actually. Paul Bunyan invented hamburgers.
No, but like it was like okay, we need to quickly wrap. No, I think we should put another episode for this because it's not related to Star Wars whatsoever.
We derailed like that.
Yes,
like we just
that's because there's only 3 people
rails.
doing this episode, and 2 of them are myself and Trooper.
Yeah,
I know it's like Bird Friday, guest starring Kahi and the Star Wars talk.
Pretty much.
This is TTV Talks / Star Wars / Spider-Man / breadsticks.
Right.
All right.
What kind of bird do
okay.
you think each Star Wars character?
No. We need to talk about Star Wars. We promised the audience this.
I was talking
What do
about
you
Star
think-
Wars.
What do you think about the title, The Force Awakens?
I don't know. I'm still.
I think they
should have
put it to sleep.
Thing.
Like, unless there's a very good relevance to how the story folds, or unfolds, rather, that seems like a really stupid title to me.
Okay, LJ hates whenever I reference Rooster Teeth. Did you ever see the skit they did on
I don't watch Rooster
Star Wars?
Teeth.
I know. No, Kahi, you're the only one that loves Mr. Cheese so much.
Well, they did a skit where they're like, why would you name it The Force Awakens? That's such a stupid name. And they're like, what? And the guy's like, you know what the stupidest name is of all? And they're like, no, what is it? The Star Wars. And if you really think about it, it's kind of a stupid name.
Oh, I've thought of that.
It's so stupid.
I think that's a very
really
good
stupid.
explanation of what it is, but that might be because I'm not American though. But like,
I mean, like
Wars in the stars, like
the
space.
Phantom Menace. That's a terrible name. You know?
I don't know what Menace is.
How is Phantom Menace a terrible name?
I know the Phantom. Is like
the
a
Phantom
comic.
Menace is like that doesn't refer to. I mean, I guess it kind of really does refer
it
to.
may not. I don't know
thing,
if
but like,
it's a very relevant title, but in and of itself, it's not a bad title.
I mean, it sounds pretentious. The Phantom Menace. It's like there's like it's a world where there's ghosts, but
Okay,
the
what's
ghosts
an
don't actually
alternate
appear to
title for it,
you.
then?
There's just an atmosphere of there's ghosts around here. That's what it implies.
So it's
like the
Ghostbusters, then.
menace of, kind of, yeah. And then
What's an alternate title for episode 1 then, Kahi?
Oh,
an
gosh,
alternate title?
It's probably been a million.
I have
years.
no
What's
idea.
a better title
It's like,
than Phantom Menace?
The Force Awakens. That would actually seem to make more sense for episode 1.
That makes
to me.
more sense for episode 1. It really does. If it's episode 1, The Force Awakens, it's because it's the awakening of the Force within Anakin. That's like when he, right? Yeah, I'm 100% for that.
Well, that makes me think about episode 7. Is just, I mean, the Force is coming back.
I'm
because
honestly,
it's the debt? I mean,
I
it
was
sorta
like,
has.
I was kind of nervous. If it was like, I basically the thing that makes me hyped isn't the fact there's a new Star Wars coming out. It's that J.J. Abrams is directing it because I love J.J. Abrams.
Everywhere.
I have the complete opposite.
Oh, dude, okay. I mean, okay. He does get some crap for the lens flare thing in Star Trek, but it's really like that's not his style. That's just Star Trek style that he chose to go with that. If you see stuff like Fringe or like Lost, there's not like a huge overload of lens flares. It's just the lens flare emulated the style that he wanted to take for the Star Trek movies.
Honestly, I don't know if I've ever watched anything by J.J. Abrams.
Did you watch Super 8?
No.
Almost Human, like
Super 8
some
is a really
Revolution
big thing, though. But I'm not gonna. I would just derail if I'm just even gonna mention that. But
Lost, you saw? You maybe
I've seen
cut
Lost.
an
I've seen
episode
entire
of
Lost,
right?
though.
Nope.
I mean, he didn't really. He directed some, and he was also a producer on
Oh.
a lot of them. So, I like the guy a lot. I mean, seeing those shots in episode 7's trailer, the shots with like the X-wings going over the river and like that whole swooping
That's just
scene with
one
the
action
Millennium Falcon.
sequence, though.
I know, it's just like that kind of cinematography is something that we wouldn't get from Lucas. I don't remember seeing. Lucas was like, Lucas had this stuff where he'd do where like they had the wipes, from Windows Media Player. Did nobody comment on that? Does that like, I can't believe that's not more of a complaint.
Oh,
that
yeah.
there's
When we started doing the
Windows
crazy wipes.
Media Player. Yeah, like, and then like it would like
That
the
was
clock
just-
wipe and then like.
Didn't fit with all the other ones. They were just
It
simple.
didn't. And then there's one where like it's literally a diamond. It's like it's a slideshow.
I know, yeah.
'Cause
It so reminded me of Windows Movie Maker.
Right.
It's just turned into a thing
dislike
just
that a lot.
bashing Star Wars.
Well, I
We've
mean,
been so
hey,
negative
Well, that's
to this,
because
and
we're
there's
talking
literally
about the
people that-
movies, and the movies are not what I like about Star Wars.
what do you like about Star Wars, Takuma?
Yeah, what do you do like about Star Wars?
I liked this. George
setting?
Lucas created the universe, then he did a good job of creating a universe. I just think everyone else did a good job of filling the time in the universe.
And what's your favorite Star Wars story then? Is it like from a comic then, or?
It would have to be the Clone Wars cartoons have been good. I haven't finished them all
I
yet,
like 'em.
but honestly, my favorites.
I can't take
been
them serious.
The Old Republic from the two KOTOR
Old Republic
games.
is okay.
I haven't played the MMO at all because I hate MMOs. But just as much, if maybe not even more, would be the Jedi Knight series, which takes
Oh man,
which takes place right after Episode 6, where
Right.
where we're going to be having Episode 7 instead, and follows Kyle Katarn, who is a far more interesting character than just about anyone in the movies, in my opinion.
I think Star Wars
I
by
love
far
that.
has the best video games based on a movie, except for GoldenEye or something like that. They have a lot of good games.
That's-
Star Wars has a
I mean-
lot of good games. They have a lot more.
Oh, yeah, they have a
good
lot of
games.
good
They have
games.
bad games. I can't think of
Yeah,
another
there's just some
example.
bad games.
I've played
that's true. Like Super Star Wars. No, I had a Game Boy that had a game that covered
a
the
Game
original
Boy
trilogy.
that had a game.
I mean, like it was a Game Boy game. I think it was just a adaptation of Super Star Wars for the Game Boy, but I played that game incessantly. Same thing, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. I played that for
I
hours
haven't
and hours
finished
and
Jedi Academy
hours.
yet. I've barely
It
actually
was so
started
good because
it.
you jump and you use your mouse and stuff. You just held down control and the lightsaber would the Kyle Katarn would fly all over the place. It's fantastic.
Jedi Academy wasn't Kyle Katarn though. He was in it, but you didn't play as him.
Yeah, I know. You're right. I'm thinking.
I've only played the first 20 minutes in 9 of them.
I played both. I played Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. What was the other one? Jedi Knight.
The first Jedi Knight one was Dark Forces 2 or something, wasn't it? It's actually the Humble Bundle right now is a big bundle of Star Wars games. So
Yeah, I know.
check that
I'm thinking of getting some of those. I have Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy already.
yeah,
but-
I've got most of these. Yeah,
Connie!
it's Dark Forces. Dark Forces 2, which is the first Jedi Knight one. Then it's Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, Jedi Knight 3, Jedi Academy. So those are all the Kyle Katarn.
Takuma,
ones.
please tell me you've played Battlefront.
Oh yeah, I've put so
Oh,
many hours into
come on.
Battlefront 2.
We
You
need
can't- you
Battlefront
can't be
on this.
ridiculous.
Battlefront was so
Okay.
good.
I would have to destroy myself if I didn't mention this though. Republic Commando.
Oh, man!
Everyone loves
Ah.
Republic
The
Commando.
the best game ever that no one's ever played.
My friend
So
had that
many
game.
people
I
played
didn't
that.
have it. I didn't have but every time I played it over at his house, it was great. But I just didn't get. I owned Battlefront, and that was it. Battlefront 2. But man, playing how many? Okay, you guys remember Mos Eisley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't Mos Eisley the only level that you could play as the heroes? Like you could switch
That was
in
the one
between
where
heroes.
you could beat all the heroes.
Right.
Nothing but.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
the
And it was
I've
so
probably
hard
spent.
to win as the good guys.
It was so hard. The evil characters have so much of an
If you
advantage.
just let the bots go at it, the bad guys always won.
I think it's because most of the bad guys have like a lot quicker slashes. Like Darth Maul have really quick slashes than for example on Coruscant map you have Mace Windu versus Darth Maul. Darth Maul will win against Mace Windu every single time because Darth Maul just hits so slowly.
And the space battles, man.
That's the only game I like vehicle combat. Literally any other game,
so
I just can't. I despise.
I'm looking
lot.
forward to the new Battlefront that's
one,
coming
yeah.
out this year.
Oh,
There's
that's
a
coming
new
as
Battlefront
well. That's like
for next gen.
Wait a minute, that's coming out this year, you said?
Yep, it's coming out this year. It's actually a prequel. Whatever happens in the game is going to be a campaign mode. It's actually a prequel to Episode 7 coming out December.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's only
Wait,
going
I
to
see-
be original trilogy factions?
No, it's going to cover the entire saga. However, most of the campaign will take place during the original trilogy.
Okay.
I see, because in what we've seen so far, there's been like the old stormtroopers and all this.
Right. Okay, we've got to wrap up kind of soon. But I do want to really go over one last thing. What do you guys think of all the old Star Wars stuff, like all the old expanded universe being retconned?
Do not want.
I think some people have followed that for a very long time and is very emotionally invested to it, and that the fact that they're just going to disregard absolutely everything is a bit of a big thing. Personally, I've not looked into it very much because I am just a young, naive little kid at this point, so I still don't know too much about the world. But yeah, I think a lot of people were just looking forward to just they might touch on like the things I've been reading in comics for years, and then it's just like no, just completely gone.
Kuma, you seem really against it.
Yes. Because retcon means no Kyle Katarn, no Revan, no Mara Jade, none of that.
I'm so tired because I do enjoy a lot of these characters, a lot of those storylines. At the same time, I definitely see the merit. A lot of these stories were made for the mediums they were delivered in. They weren't made to be delivered in film. And like, I'd rather not like if J.J. Abrams was supposed to do like just to make Episode 7, and people be like, hey, you know, where's Jaden Solo? You know, where's Mara Jade? Where's all these characters? Where's Yatsen Vong and like all the crazy stuff that happens in the novels? He would just have to be like, I want to make a film. I want to make the best film I want to do, and not adapt somebody else's work.
Well, yeah, I'm not
for a
saying
film.
I'm not saying that I don't see why they did it, but that doesn't mean I have to like it.
Right. I mean, would you want to see? I guess would the compromise be if they included some of these characters into the Episode 7, like if they included like Kyle Katarn and Mara Jade, and these did some things.
Those are pretty much the only two I really know of. So those are the only two I really care about. I mean, I don't imagine they'd make a whole lot of mention of the Old Republic with Revan and stuff.
Right.
But Kyle Katarn is like the one single character that I would have liked. Because Kyle Katarn even showed up in other, like, he was even a playable character in the Empire at War strategy game, which isn't even part of the Jedi Knight saga.
Right. Yeah,
He was probably one of the more iconic ones.
I kind of hope he's in there too, because he's a big fan favorite, and they might do it. I mean, Abrams brought back like Khan when he did the Star Trek kind of reboot thing. But because it's a continuation, because it's not a reboot, I don't know. They might do something new entirely. There seems to be all these new characters in Episode 7. It seems to focus on,
But they have the original cast?
They do.
Harrison
They do.
Ford's
And
in
That's
there?
one of the reasons
there.
I'm staying rock bottom on my expectations.
Oh.
I don't know about how it's done in the original cast. I do like the fact that they hired the Raid. They hired choreographers from the Raid and the Raid Redemption, the Raid 2. They're like not really indie, but they're foreign martial arts films, and they're fantastic. They're some of the greatest martial art films ever made. It came out recently. But Abrams hired them presumably to help with choreography of lightsaber and stuff. And lightsabers has been my favorite thing of Star Wars. So I'm hoping they'll be able to do like some crazy awesome choreography, fight scenes with everything. Jedi's going insane, all that's great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just want Grievous back. But to wrap this, up,
Right.
everyone
To wrap
loves
this up.
Republic, Commando, and Battlefront.
Right.
Takuma is going to get hated on by every single Star Wars person ever.
Bring it, Fu.
Yeah, they're also like the whole just alone that we're just not prepared to just have like our favorite movie right there and then. And there's like some people that are just so emotionally invested into this universe and would just like right like that just come up with that is my favorite movie and stuff like that. But hopefully the fans or the people that watch will give us some sort of redemption. But
Right.
I'd really like to know what people liked in terms of like the Star Wars games, because there's like seems to be a lot of different, like the people that played Battlefront really liked sort of like Battlefield-esque type style, and then there was like the MMO games and stuff like that, and the Republic Commando. So which Star Wars games did you play, and which one did you like? And like one of the newer ones actually looked really interesting in terms of story, but I never touched upon them. For example, like Force Unleashed and stuff like that. I like that a lot. It's cool.
Oh, yeah,
Force Unleashed, yeah. Man, okay, now I want to talk about Force Unleashed, but we're out of time.
We don't really have time. The only thing I'm going to say is
yeah.
that Disney sucks for disbanding LucasArts. I think we can all agree on that.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you there. But, sometimes you can't help. Sometimes it just has to happen.
Disney is going to take over the world at one point. So Disney is love. Disney is life.
Alongside that Lego. All right. Thanks for listening. Put all your comments and whatnot about this episode in the thing below. Did you agree with this? Did you disagree with this? Whose side are you on? Like, comment, subscribe.
Show it
all
to
that
your cat.
great stuff.
Subnora for Mordora. All that stuff.
Subnora for Mordora.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, do that. This has been TTV Talks. I'm Kahi.
Oh, right, me next.
No, we've never. It's just us three.
Yeah, it's true. It's never been like a thing.
So
Okay.
empty here.
Well, let's complain about this name order. This is the first time I've been first in anything. I'm Kahi.
I'm Takuma.
And I am EXX Trooper. We'll see you next time, kids.
This has been TTV Talks. Have a good
Spider-Man Star Wars.
Is no one going to finish off with May the Force be with you?
No, we were not going to do that. Well, I guess you just ruined it, so okay,
let's do
fine.
it, okay.
All right.
Yeah, bye.